flooring is completely done. It's got 3 coats of tung oil. Turned out really nice. There's the plumbing for the tub. It's been about 7 days now, so you can put foot traffic on the floor now. I got a fan blowing in here just to keep the air circulating so I don't have any humidity issues. But I cleaned all the logs. There won't be any more sawdust in the entire project inside the cabin. So I took a couple of wet towels and hand wiped all the mild sawdust that was laying on the logs from part of the project. And here's the baseboard. This is what it'll look like. Here's the baseboard. And over here is where the sink is going to go. There's the drain for the sink. So there's the mirror that'll be on the wall. You can see that's where my light bar will be, electrical for the light bar, and that oval mirror will be on this wall right over the pedestal sink. The pedestal sink will be right there. There's the hot and cold water line for it. It's permanently installed. It's mounted to the wall and bolted to the floor. I got the high chrome plated brass metal drain pipe installed, stainless steel flexible lines, and you can see I even did this little custom wood block that hides the PVC, the transition coupling from metal to PVC is hidden inside the wood block with a large metal bell flange hiding it. For easy access, you just slide it up and you can unscrew the metal. So that way you're not seeing any white PVC fittings, modern PVC fittings really. So it turned out really good. That's the S-trap, metal S-trap. And I actually got pretty lucky with the spacing, the distance from the, you can see I had kind of had to overlap a little bit on the wood block because the pedestal sink mount was so close to the drain pipe, but the distance was just right. You got a little wiggle room left and right to change the distance, but it worked out really good on the drain. So there it is. They're little quarter turn knobs. 1 quarter turn turns on the hot and cold, and I had a little snafu when I turned the cold water knob on. It was leaking. The valve, the little O-ring that's inside the valve, was leaking onto the porcelain. I did a YouTube search on that and very quickly found that it's just a bad valve. It's a total little replacement piece that you can get. So anyways, I took it apart. It was very easy to take apart, and I cleaned the O-ring and I lubed it and put it back together, and it totally cured the leak. So I thought I was good, and I went ahead and took this one apart and cleaned it and lubed it with Teflon grease lube, and both of them are now no longer leaking. This one wasn't leaking to begin with, but I just went ahead and cleaned it while I was at it. But apparently it is letting I think it's the cold water side, is still letting a little water through, and about every 10 seconds a drip occurs. So I think irregardless, I got to replace that valve in there, and I don't. They're not very expensive or anything, but there it is. Hot and cold water now. And I couldn't be happier with how it's situated on the log. It's just perfect, right up against the log. Just the way it worked out, the height of the floor to the height of the log that I'm mounted on. It looks really nice with some log behind it and then a big chink gap above it. So here's the mount that I did. If you look behind it, it's just like a little L piece that I was able to rotate along the wall all the way along it. And then I just ran screws with washers into it. So you can't even see it unless you look under it. So, you know, from the side, see that? You can't even, and I painted it the same color as the log, so you can't even tell. Because the bolts were lower than the bottom of the log, so I had to come up with some kind of creative mount there. But it worked out fine. There it is. It sure is a pretty sink. Pretty faucet, too.